The last time Mudahar of Some Ordinary Gamers went on Chud Logic's live stream, he caused a bit of controversy for himself. He incorrectly said that Nux Taku would be dropped from the podcast due in part to his association with Shadman. He later on Twitter went and said, no, 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 Nux Taku is staying on the podcast and we're just restructuring. We're going to rebrand and come back in a month or two. But Nicholas DeOrio roped Mudahar into coming onto Chud Logic's stream again to talk further now that a little bit more information has come out. There's a guy, Harmful Opinions. He put out a video on Nux Taku that shows that there was more than just a DM from Shadman to Nux Taku. But we'll get into the live stream with Mudahar and Chud.
Guys, so since we're winding down, I actually wanted to decide that we're not winding down, we're actually winding up.
Right. Oh no. Did he DM you to call in?
Yeah, he's coming.
All right.
Really very calm, guys. Okay, very, very relaxed now. You guys got me all relaxed.
Chud feels better now. Chud feels better.
Mutahar, you lying fucking scumbag! What is your fucking problem, dude? Why do you throw me under the bus with some dude that's got fucking lolly in his videos? What is your fucking problem?
Hello?
Is that a bit? Is that a bit? Are you doing a bit, Mutahar? I just got mogged. I just got mogged.
You just got mogged. You just got this low taper faded.
Hello?
Hello, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, going good. I just plugged in my headset, sorry.
Okay. Did you hear what I just said by any chance?
I had no idea what you just said.
Okay, I called you a lot of things, but we're going to put that to one side. And I'm just going to ask, what was the reason for this confusion, which made me look kind of retarded over the podcast?
Why the podcast was shutting down?
Yeah.
So I remember the time we were talking, you brought up the Nux Shadman stuff, which was a thing we looked at, just because, you know that list came out on YouTube Drama about all the people connected to Shadman?
Mhm.
So we talked to Nux briefly about it too. He asked what was the connection, and he just told me that it was like him fucking interviewing fucking Shadman or asking for an interview, like one of these ironic things that he told me, which even at the time we were still looking in, and I got in touch with like a former editor way after we talked, and it did apparently seem like it was just him trying to reach out to Meme or whatever, kind of like, you know, the Oompaville interview or whatever he explained to me when it came to Andrew Tate. The reason why I couldn't really discuss this podcast stuff with you so candidly is at the time, if you hadn't noticed, I don't know how much you watched the podcast, but one of the co-hosts, Oompaville, wasn't really showing up to the show. And it was at the time, a week before we were out in Texas filming, we had basically severed our ties, me and Oompaville, with our management.
So it seems like a very long explanation for Mudahar. Why did you say one thing the first time that you were on here and then go on Twitter and say something totally different? Somehow Andrew Tate got roped into this. Like, what the hell?
Company who also owned the podcast. So
Oh,
this is one of
thank
those things-
God.
I know that.
No, no,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Let me
Listen.
let me just finish explaining the one thing.
Okay.
So when we severed our ties, right, it was unfortunately at the same time as the Shadman stuff. So all of the stuff we were looking into, but the primary reason why we had severed it is because the management team that we were working with, Neo Zebra at the time, also owned the production rights to our podcast, which meant that as we severed our ties, me and Oompaville, we didn't really find it feasible to continue the podcast tie. So that's why it's winded down for a month or two. And plus, me and
Come on,
Oompaville
Mudahar.
also really decided that it was better to have a set in Texas and just start filming.
That's
there.
fine, but you said it was nothing to do with Nux Taku, which was totally different to what you said to me.
What do you mean? Nothing to do with Nux Taku? The podcast shutting down?
Yes.
Hey, hold on, let me just mediate.
On
real
my
quick.
stream.
Obviously,
Literally-
neither party knows what's going on. Okay,
Mhm.
on the stream with Chud, you gave the implication that the stuff that was happening with Shadman was part of the reason why the podcast was breaking up. Which ultimately, I think he even was included in one of the videos discussing this, like a clip from that stream.
Mhm.
And then it was basically the correction that no, it was business stuff from behind the scenes. Now, obviously, if that stuff is happening and that's legitimate, and my understanding is that it is, that's maybe not on the top of your mind. But like the average viewer heard you say that and thought that like, oh, okay, Chud's like misreporting this. But
The average viewer and just basically every person with basic listening comprehension skills.
like
No, there was no like
yeah.
misreporting. I want to say that yes, when like the Shadman stuff came out from like just a fucking relationship level, obviously we wanted to see if, you know, one of our friends was like defending a lolicon drawer or something. Now, going at his word, obviously he was going for an interview, and the interview I believe never happened. So there's no way to go off on if he's like a Shadman defender.
Okay, this
or
is
not.
all rambling that you're doing to distract from the issue, Mutahar. Let's cut to the fucking chase here, okay?
Okay.
You said point A on my stream, okay, which gave one impression, and then you said point B. Point A being the podcast is ending, and it was very strongly implied it was because of Nux Taku, and then there's this investigation you apparently need to do, and then later
No,
it's like,
there was no. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and it was a stream. We got into it. I couldn't discuss this one business aspect at the time because we were severing ties. We had our contracts with the company. This was not something that I could get into. And I believe even on the same podcast, it was like after whatever.
Hey, why does it matter if you couldn't get into that though? You specifically made a claim about why Nux Taku was being dropped. Please address that part, Muda. Come on.
people clipped out, I did also mention that there were other big significant reasons.
Okay,
It wasn't
so
just Nux.
your partner came into my chat and said the reason the last episode wasn't released was because of the Shadman stuff. Is that true?
Wait, what did Jem say? It was because it wasn't
Jem
because
came
of the
into
Shadman
chat
stuff?
and gave a super chat and said that the reality of it was the last episode was not being released because of the Shadman stuff, but the restructuring was going to happen. How does that play into this?
I have to fucking confront her on why she said that actually, because the way that it was discussed, like she had brought it up to me,
Oh, jeez. Gotta rein in the wife, Muda.
was like the whole your clip was being played around, and it was like, oh man, is people believing that you were throwing Nux under the bus? And I'm like, no. Honestly, that last podcast episode wasn't even going to be coming out until we had like filmed it like a day or two before. This was all just stuff that was really happening fluid.
Okay. But you understand that things are happening fluid and conclusive statements are getting made. That's obviously going to cause...
Yeah, but I'm not the one making the conclusive statements. And even on your stream, I mentioned that there was a million other things behind the reason.
Okay,
the
no,
Shadman
that's
stuff
total
was one of
coat.
the
There's
things
all
we
these other...
looked
Yes, you mentioned it, but the focus was on about Nux Taku having this connection with Shadman that coloured the whole thing. And that was the focus of what you were saying to me. Was it not?
Okay, but that was brought up on a stream. I even mentioned that there were other things aside from that too.
Yes,
I
you
followed
did, but
it
that
up
was
on
like a
Twitter as
secondary...
well.
But that was... yeah, okay, but on Twitter, that was you sweeping for Nux Taku. It's so obvious, dude. It's so obvious
I
that it
wasn't
changed. The
sweeping for
energy
it. We were
changed of what you were
looking into-
saying.
I wasn't sweeping for him. I looked into the situation. At the time, it showed up on YouTube Drama. Again, this is all stuff that was happening super duper fluidly. I had no idea the extent of the thing. I asked him pretty much, hey, what was this interview about? It was supposed to be a joke and a meme. Even one of his former editors came up to me and basically said, yeah, this was just supposed to be like a meme edit. And that's pretty much where I let it at because I had no idea what.
Yes, him and his editor. It was like, oh yeah, just start sweating like that one Key and Peele skit where it's just like a waterfall. Like, what is even the point of that?
to go on forward for it. Now, at the time, could I discuss exactly why this podcast was shutting down? No, we wanted to end it amicably with our production company. We didn't want it to make it look like we were throwing anybody under the bus. Or there was some, if I had come out and said, yeah, I'm shutting out ties because of bad relationships with like Nano Zebra, people would think that, oh, maybe we got screwed monetarily. It wasn't even the case. They just owned the production rights. We wanted to sever our ties, make sure everything on our contract looked fine.
Okay,
It was actually the most
Mutahar,
boring
let's cut the
exit.
bullshit and let me read your words to you. Okay?
Okay.
I'm paraphrasing this. I'm quoting you, but this is from a larger statement. I can send you the transcript that someone's kindly said to me. It's not happening. The podcast is done. I say, dude, this is hard because obviously you know people want, and you say the podcast is done. Yeah, the podcast is done now. I say, wait, what? You say, yeah, the podcast is over. We're not filming. We are not filming the last episode now. I ask you if you're serious. You say, yeah, we're not doing the podcast anymore. I say, why? You say, we're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously the Shad stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of it is the chat stuff as well, because at the time the YouTube drama list came out, and that was just one of the things we were looking at with Nux Taku.
That was a more conclusive statement than you're giving it credit for. And now you're trying to claim that afterwards you made another statement to clarify when you gave a conclusive statement on my show.
I followed it up on Twitter literally like the day after the fucking clips was going out by that one
Yeah,
scene.
and it was like 180 to what you'd said on my stream. And so obviously people thought,
dude, because on your stream you brought up the Nux Taku stuff, and it kind of hits me. Like, I can't obviously cover the other like business related side of it. And yes, for that I do really apologize, because I understand how I made you look fucking terrible in that situation. I'm just asking to look at it from my perspective as somebody that's thrown into the fucking den right there while I'm dealing with a bunch of stuff behind the scenes.
hey, but
That's about
Yeah, so I think Muda might have like just totally put his foot in his mouth and said something that he did not mean to say. I think maybe he felt the pressure in that moment and just said that Nux was gone because he's like, oh geez, I really don't want to be connected to any of this Shadman stuff or whatever, or something like that. For some reason he panicked and just completely put his foot in his mouth and said something that he didn't mean.
it.
Listen,
Like,
so
I'm
would
sorry
you
that I
say-
fucking made you look terrible. I really
No,
am.
so would you say that you like we placating the chat? I guess is the question. Like the chat's saying a bunch of stuff where you're just like, yeah, we're not doing the podcast, and you know the Shadman stuff is a pretty big deal too.
I don't even have the chat open, so I don't know what I'm placating. Is it right?
No,
now?
not right now. I'm saying when you said that at the time, because obviously your position isn't that the Shadman stuff really had anything to do with why the podcast was ending. So when you said it just abruptly, is it possible you were just like, you saw the chat and the chat was saying stuff, and then
look,
you just said something?
the
and then,
Shadman stuff, obviously it's going to have something to do, because at the time you're going to be investigating every single person, right? Like, it's one of those things that popped up. I will say it wasn't.
But how can the Shaman have anything to do with it if Nux Taku was apparently going to be part of the podcast down the line? That's what you also claimed. The Nux Taku also claimed. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Like if we're looking into how close his relationship is, right? Like if he's just doing an interview and it was supposed to be a meme interview, yeah, I'd probably say it was a dumb idea in general to do an interview. Just like I think the Oompaville Andrew Tate interview was pretty stupid. But down the road, I'll still work with you, considering you're not actually in a position of defending a Lolicon artist. Now, if it turned out that the situation was deeper and the people that I had reached out to and reached out to me like a sworn redditor said, no, this interview was supposed to be a total glazing of fucking Shadman, then yeah, we would have cut Nux Taku.
Well, if you watch Harmful Opinions video, it seems just a little bit more severe than how Nux made it out.
About the future podcast endeavor that we're planning to
I
bring
think
back.
part of the reason why Chud is so pissed is because his position is genuinely that is the case. And I mean, the Harmful Opinions video in and of itself, I think. Have you heard of that one recently that came out?
No.
There's a content creator named Harmful Opinions who seems to have kind of put most of it together in like an easy to digest package that goes after Nux. And that's kind of what's been coming up in the last couple of days. So, I mean, I would recommend checking that one out and maybe taking a look. I don't know.
Did Nux do anything illegal
The end of this, they send him the video, and Muda says that he will watch it as soon as he gets off the stream.
or something?
I don't think so.
That's
And listen, it's
I
difficult because
have
I'm not.
no idea to watch into it. I have
Okay,
no
I'm
idea
not the kind of
what-
person that wants to hold you to some standard for someone else's behavior. Okay, but Nux Taku is participating in your podcast and benefiting from your reputation. When I think at the very least he's a weird freak who was permissive of Lolicon stuff when it benefits his channel years ago, and now wants to act like he's nothing to do with it. In the video, it shows you some weird shit that he's had on his thumbnails and in the videos. I get it's difficult if you're his friend, but this is insane. This guy's a total freak.
Wait, so he's like a
Yup.
Lolicon defender?
There's
Yeah, this
plausible
is a-
deniability, right? So I've not got a video of him, jerking off to Lolicon, okay? But what I do have is him using Lolicon for his content, or using questionably aged people, or using completely degenerate shit in his videos, and he's showing it as like, oh, I don't want to show you this, but oh, here's this content, isn't it gross? And then there's thumbnail issues where he's got like, a thumbnail of, I believe, an underage character from Game of Thrones. At one point, he says he changed it after 15 minutes, and then there's other footage that shows that 2 weeks later he still had this thumbnail on there. So what makes it more difficult?
One of them's still up. People had it posted in Chud Logic's Discord today. You could see it, like just an insane thumbnail that he has still up on his channel. Nux has on his channel.
Dog
is-
fucking the child
What
thing.
makes it more difficult is Nux Taku
Yeah.
is not honestly presenting any of this stuff.
Then
He's
we
clearly not doing it
should
to
have
you.
him on the show for him to explain it then.
Yeah, I'd happily speak to this fucking guy. I would happily speak to this guy. Whether he'd want to or not, I don't know. But yes, I think there's stuff here that he needs to fucking be more honest about, rather than just try and sweep it away using your reputation. Okay, I'm trying to be calm. Okay.
I think
That's
it's
my
one of those
perspective.
things where it's like we should just bring him on and confront him with it. Because
Sure.
look, if the whole thing is like with his Lolicon stuff is like his history, because obviously I think Nick even described it on this show just like 20 minutes ago. Like when you're, or I think it was Tom, when you're collaborating with somebody, it's like obviously you're just sitting there making a video. We haven't done like a full background to look onto what his content is or anything. Obviously, I was on a few collaborations with him when he was doing like fucking memes and like the game shows with like 15 fucking creators. And that's pretty much the extent of my collaborations. Behind the scenes, he's only been like a kind person to me, and we've had just mature conversations that are well outside the scope of YouTube or just discussing business. I've never really he's never really shown me Lolicon in the background.
I just feel
for
like you're
the
taking it a bit
content.
easy on him because you're friends with him.
Even besides any of this, man, the Nux just seems so annoying to me. His personality drives me crazy. So I find it hard to believe that anybody could genuinely be his friend, but apparently Muda says he is.
That's all.
How did you guys even start the podcast in particular? Like, what or how did you get that group? I guess.
We were just collaborating with those like game shows at the time, and
Mhm.
we talked about other shit behind the scenes. We were just like fucking gaming or whatever. So at that point, we were like, all right, fine, we can do the podcast together. Now, mind you, our whole relationship with him on the podcast, every fucking episode was like fuck Nux, fuck Nux, fuck Nux. But it was just one of those things where it's like, I guess you're just a VTuber who will consider you
Mhm.
annoying and cool. But
Yeah, because I know there's like a lot of cases where like content creators are like the audience interpretation is that they're super close, they talk every single day, and then it's like I haven't talked to that guy in 6 months, so I don't know where your position is on that. I don't know.
We don't talk every single day. It's certainly less than me and Caleb would do. But yeah, we.
Because I mean, just for me in particular, people thought I was friends with Flamenco. So yeah. I
Okay,
don't know.
listen, look, all it is, okay, I understand this is difficult to get pressed on this life. If this is your friend, I get it, it's hard, but like, I just feel like we're having like
If it's a
civ-
friend and it turns out tomorrow there's like a fucking horse folder, the Bosch horse folder, then it's a fucking full condemnation. It's not like there's going to be a sweeping down the rug for it. And obviously, this harmful opinion video, I haven't seen it, but based on the contents of it, I think it's worth having Nux on the show so you can grill him straight up ahead. Because what he's just told me in the background, and this is verbatim, it's like, hey, never had an intention to work with Shadman. He very much is anti-Loli based on every single discussion that I've had with him behind the scenes.
Let's make this
yeah,
really
anytime
simple.
they
I've sent you a
product-
thumbnail that's currently live on a second channel. What do you think about that?
Where is it? Let me see.
It's the one of the wolf thing.
It said XTC, a dog, and a fucking, oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, when was this uploaded? 3 years ago.
Not that long ago. 3 years ago.
Jesus
And I can
Christ.
predict he's going to do the whole, oh, I was only showing it to mock it and stuff like that. He's using insane degen thumbnails, like, to bait people in
Somebody
then,
send this
and then
over
he's
to him.
washing his hands of it now, acting like he's not into any of it or doesn't care about it and thinks it's disgusting, and he's pulling the wool over your eyes, I would guess.
Let me actually send this to him. We can have it on the Chud Logic to discuss some stuff. I'm getting grilled about your history.
You might not be able to hear it, but Muda is, kind of reading out loud what he's typing to Nux, and he's sending that thumbnail to Nux, and he's like, "I'm getting grilled on this live stream, man. What? Explain to me your choice with this thumbnail."
Do you feel that, okay, this is simple. Do you feel that Nux Taku is honestly representing himself in all of this? To you?
On that, no. I mean, I'm looking at that character. I don't know if that's fucking loli or whatever, but it's like fucking dog having sex with a woman, so it's already way bad for me anyways. It doesn't even have to have the loli connotations. Yeah.
God, why do you
I've
keep
never
sharing
seen
this
that
picture of a
thumbnail.
dog having sex with people?
Bro,
in
give me a
DM?
fucking break. I'm doing it to make a point, okay? Obviously, I
I-
think it's fucked.
I'll just throw it up here for a sec. That's the thumbnail in question. So yeah, and that's live on the video or live on his YouTube channel.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm
shit,
gonna
I just
shut
sent
up,
it right
Nicholas.
over to him. I just sent it right over to Nux over there. So I actually would rather have him on this show discussing this whole thing because again, I can't dig through somebody's head, but that's not a good looking thumbnail in any regard.
Sure,
No,
and
that's not a
I just
good
love that
looking
pic.
thumbnail.
Excuse sending
my, because obviously, like Nicandros is I don't really listen. I never really cared that much about fucking Nux Taku. Okay, I'm happy to bring him on and I'll speak to him. Harmful Opinions maybe want to come on and talk to him too. But this was all just about. I feel that you misrepresented the situation in terms of like why the podcast was ending, and it was never a massive deal for me. I wasn't like crying myself to sleep about it. It was just
Look,
frustrating.
he hit me up too after that whole thing, and I even told Nux that like the way that I said it, because he brought it up to me, he's like, I made it sound like it was all because of him. And in a review, yeah, obviously, it sounds terrible. At the time, I even mentioned that there were other reasons as well too. I clarified it on Twitter, and I made him that little piece for his like video to discuss it because there was this whole like production company that well, not a production company, a management company. We severed ties with them, and was really trying to get out of
Oh my god, would you shut up about the production company?
it with like the best of intentions. Like there was a lot of emotional behind the scenes stuff, just severing ties with this company anyways because we went
You
out
pity
so
Nux
fulfilled.
Taku. You know he's a wretched freak, just like I do. But he's your friend, and you pity him, so you're giving him some good grace. I know exactly what's going on.
I
mate.
don't
It's so
think that's
obvious.
the. I don't think
I mean,
that's
don't
the
get me wrong.
case.
There is a bit of bias for sure, obviously, because you're friendly with somebody. Yes, but do I consider it on the same level as like the Vosh horse folder stuff? I'd have to have like the horse folder would have to be like in existence before you like completely sever a tie with somebody, right? Like he's in the anime community. There's degenerate stuff. I look at this thumbnail. I send it right over to him, and I'd rather him be on this show.
I don't mean to like
discussing
cut the
these
content, but this is like you're speaking to him. Muda he hasn't seen the video that you're talking about.
Sure. I get that,
And then
I
the
get
first
that.
interaction is him to send it directly to Nux. So I don't know what else he can really do in that instance.
No, I know. I'm
Nicholas Dorio is fair.
very angry and agitated, and I accept that. Okay, and people that are watching, yes, I'm obviously angry, but
I mean, what would be an amicable thing? Should we like sever a tie with him based on everything that you've seen so far?
I don't listen. What you do is your discretion. I'm not saying you need to do anything. That's not up to me. That's your decision to make. But
No, but I mean, like, what is the right decision? Should we just sever ties with him completely?
I mean, if it was me and it turned out I padded a bunch of weird lolicon shit in his past and wasn't being honest about it, I'd ask him to come clean and come forward and speak on it openly. And if he didn't, at that point, yeah, I'd probably be like, yeah, this is fucking it.
Yeah. Well, I sent him the thumbnail. I sent him the whole I sent him like basically a quick summarization of everything that we said, and I would actually prefer that he be on the show. I think here's where here's where my capitulation is. Okay, I think for him to stay on a show and work with me directly, I'm not even talking about like just Caleb here, just with me. I think it would be better if he comes on your show or not even your show. That's up to you. I don't want to fucking decide your schedule or anything. He should come and explain these things pretty candidly. And if he can't do that, then I don't think he should be able to work with us in the future. I think that's a pretty fair way to go about it. I haven't seen.
So, Mudahar says, if Nux can't explain this thumbnail and the rest of the behavior that's in Harmful Opinions video, he is going to drop him from the podcast.
The harmful
Yeah,
opinion
sure.
videos.
I mean,
based on
I'd be
the
more than
context.
happy to speak to Nux Taku, but in fairness, I mean, Harmful Opinions made the video. He's the one that's got the more substantive critiques exactly of that. I've just watched his video about it. I'm obviously
If he's
more
not
than happy
willing to answer the
facilitate it.
critiques, then I don't think he should be working with us. I think that's a fair way to go about it, right? If he's not able to explain these critiques and explain his position in a
Yeah, I
way,
think that's perfectly
then I don't think he
reasonable.
should work with us.
You know, Harmful Opinions made this video about it, and you know, I probably arranged for him to come on and say his piece too. He's happy to come on streams normally. And yeah, I just think if you're Nux Taku, I don't think is represented honestly, and if you can't do that, then yeah, that makes the position untenable, surely.
Yeah, if he can't explain his position and if he can't explain some of this past behavior, then I don't think he should be working with us in the future. And maybe down the podcast road, we might not even bring him back or bring him onto it if he can't explain these positions. I think that's a fair way to go about it.
Okay. Well,
He said it multiple times now. There's no way. There's no way we're gonna have the same situation here again, where it's like, oh no, actually, I meant I'm not kicking Nux if he doesn't have a good explanation.
well, you know, I appreciate, you know, it's kind of short
Look,
notice. I mean,
I
I would now
appreciate
arrange
you.
something. Sorry,
Yeah,
go on.
I appreciate you bringing me on the show, and even at the time, I do want to fucking very much apologize because I made you look terrible with the shitty explanation I gave. And my explanation, I should have absolutely reclarified it, probably on like a main channel stream or something of that nature. Was Nux originally like, was some of that into consideration? Yeah, at the time, you see the YouTube drama list, and you want to ask your friend about it. He gave one explanation that satiated me and Caleb at the time. Well, it satiated me. I haven't really discussed that entirely with Caleb, but it satiated me based on what his explanation of what his future content plan with Fadman was. But I haven't seen the Harmful Opinion videos. I'm probably going to see it after this based on the thumbnail you showed me from his channel 3 years ago. And if he can't explain some of that production, if he can't explain that content to you or Harmful Opinion or, you know, to his audience, then I don't think he has a position working with us. Because it shouldn't be us platforming him if he can't explain, you know, his past lowly adjacent content, I guess is the best way to say it. I don't know if he's like a fucking lowly con. If he is, then he's definitely not in our crew.
Well, you know, the thing is like
Very strongly, he said it. There's no way anybody weasels out of it this way. Nux is gonna have to explain himself.
Would you
I
say
mean,
that at best, if he's not any of those things, that Chud, would you say that he uses those thumbnails and stuff to pander there?
yeah, and I think his comments make it
Okay.
clear that, you know, he gives a bit of leeway to it in a kind of plausibly deniable way to capture that sort of level of the audience. Like, I'm not saying he's exactly like Rev says Desu levels, but I think certainly there's a sort of pandering that happens. But then when he's challenged on it, it's like, oh no, that's not happening actually. Nothing to worry about. I was going to mock it all. I'm going to take the piss out of it. So it's kind of like, you know, playing both sides. So I always come out on top. I don't have proof that he's definitely aroused by this stuff necessarily. I think Harmful Opinions makes maybe a bit of a stronger claim, but at the very least, it's, you know, not being upfront and honest in regards to it. And the other thing I think that Harmful Opinions points out in his video.
That's the thing that I just don't understand is why he would choose to lie and obfuscate about this. It's just not a good look to try to bend the truth on something like this because you're gonna Streisand yourself and make people want to look into it if they find out that there's a little lie in there. Then maybe they end up finding way bigger lies, all because you wanted to just downplay from the get-go.
Is thank you to Queen for pointing this out. But there's a comment that Harmful Opinions just like clicked on the profile of, and this channel is like school kids practicing for a band. And it's like, you know, I know Nux Taku feels strongly about Twitch having the ethos streams. Well, what about broadcasting this kind of stuff to people who, you know, are potentially children and are looking at it, right? Now, maybe Nux Taku doesn't know that's happening, but like there's a negligence there potentially that I think is worthy of consideration too, at the very least.
Right. Well, I think the best ultimatum that I can really provide from our end is like if he comes onto your show or Harmful Opinions and explains his case, and depending on how that case is explained, I think should dictate the future of any collaboration we do with him forward.
Sure, and you know, I never wanted to make this a thing because, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, first of all, I felt the rug had been pulled from under me, so I couldn't do anything anyway. I'm not trying to fucking cancel anyone, but like, surely you must agree that if someone is doing some whack shit and not being honest about it, that's a risk to you at the very least.
Yeah, and that's why going forward, I think we'll have to leave it pretty much contingent on how he responds to this.
You can tell Chud is pissed. Even though every time Muda replies back calmly, he's like, yes, and I'm going to watch this video that you sent me, and if Nux doesn't have a response, we're gonna part ways. And the Chud's like, yeah, but this and that. So pissed.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, listen, I was a bit heated, but you didn't hear it because you fucking never plugged in. I'm very calm now. I'm very relaxed. I feel we had a good conversation about this. Is there anything else we need to hash out at this point?
But I was watching the Harmful Opinions video.
So yeah, Tom had left for a little bit, but he, went and did something else and watched the Harmful Opinion video while he was gone.
Yep. I watched through a decent amount of it. Yeah, it seems to me like Nux is a completely unprincipled person, basically, on the shit, and basically willing to use the generous stuff when it's convenient, and then, you know, when it's called out, he's like, well, I never really did that, you know? I feel like that's, yeah. And also, like, if those videos aren't age restricted, I feel like they definitely should be, because you probably shouldn't be showing, you know, porn like that on a website where, I know it's censored or whatever, but even censored stuff, like, you probably shouldn't be showing that consistently to a website full of minors in the context of, like, haha, funny joke, and then,
Yeah, no, not something you need to be introducing them to at all. Heavily censored or moderately so.
you know, who knows what they get into as a result of that. That's basically my takeaway.
Wait, you showed
Yeah.
porn in those videos?
I mean, Nux's whole thing on YouTube is, like, porn reactions, right?
Yeah, this stuff's not good.
I don't got nothing to say, bro. I've said it all. My energy is depleted. Okay, my social batteries are at 0. Dom's just come in and said
Yeah.
that. I mean, what more is there to say? I don't know.
Yeah, what other people do is up to them, but yeah, I'm gonna try to get Nux to talk about this video on stream at some point. But
Again, my
I
biggest
personally-
issue with Nux is his video defending Zero. I thought that was out of pocket, and I think that's still up. So
Zero is a Smash Bros player, and if you can believe it, he's also a creep that supposedly did stuff with an underage person. I think it's actually like confirmed. He said that some texts that were put out there were real and happened. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure.
I, you know, people can do what they want to do, but I personally don't really want to do anything with Nux Taku anymore. So yeah, there you go. Is that what you wanted, Chud? The disavowal?
Well, no, dude, that's so gay. I never. I was happy to
I-
move on from this and never care again.
But yeah,
But I
mean, he
appreciate it
seems-
nonetheless. Okay, thank you. Thank
He
you.
seems very, very.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of pictures running around, but so is Zero. He's like a person. He's still kicking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
Bro,
I'll let you
you
deal
wanna-
with whatever that is. But as far as Nux, yeah, I don't know. I don't really, I don't really want to do content with him. I feel like his commentary is kind of hindered by the fact that he is clearly kind of unprincipled on this stuff.
what would he have?
So Turkey Tom completely wiping his hands of Nux Taku. He saw all he needed to see in the Harmful Opinions video.
to
say
do
the
for you
least.
to change your perspective on that? Do you think?
What would he have to do to change my perspective on it?
Is this video that scathing? I'm gonna go
Well,
check
even
it out.
I said,
know,
what about
like-
Destiny, Thomas? Well, Destiny only wanted to bend Courtney over a tricycle, so we can't really disavow that, you know?
Lol.
I'll link you.
Yeah, talking about a tweet from Destiny. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he he essentially made a joke about wanting to bend a 10-year-old over the front of a tricycle, and yeah, super funny.
The Harmful Opinions video.
What would he have to do? I don't know if there's anything he can do. I don't know. I mean, even if he apologizes, like,
Following.
you know, fair enough. But I don't really want to, like, hang out with the guy on streams and stuff. You know.
Or at all.
Oh, damn. Listen, Mutahar, listen, mate. I'm just sending you this video. You do as you wish with it, okay? Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Is that it? Are we done? Is there anything else to add? God, this feels so awkward now. I had all this energy, and now it just feels awkward.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good fucking confrontation. I sent the fucking stuff over to Nux. I think like he should have a good explanation for it. If he doesn't, then we shouldn't be working together. I think the Tom perspective is good. It's like I'm gonna watch this video, and I like to believe that me and Tom have a pretty similar worldview going forward and how we perceive things. And if Tom says that, then fucking there's a 99% chance that I'll probably walk away from this video thinking maybe it's just gonna be me and Caleb on that show. I'm
A 99% chance that it's just going to be Muda and Caleb on the podcast. From what he said there. Give it another listen real quick here.
perceive things. And if Tom says that, then fucking there's a 99% chance that I'll probably walk away from this video thinking maybe it's just gonna be me and Caleb on that show. I'm
To be clear, the
That's what Tom thinks. There's a 99% chance that's what Muda will think.
video doesn't show that Nux Taku is a pedophile, but
Yeah,
it basically
sure.
just shows that he's like very
willing to
unprincipled,
pander to them?
wishy-washy. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, yeah. It's not looking good for Nux Taku. And then this is a clip of Chud reacting to Harmful Opinions video and getting rightfully angry that Muda kind of ran cover for this guy.
This was Nux Taku's intent with these. Perhaps so many are removed because he realized how bad a look it is, or maybe it just became a YouTube problem.
This fucking freak got swept for, and it made me look like I was being a fucking retard. It's completely obscene. It is totally fucking obscene, bro. What the fuck was Mutahar thinking? This is fucking obscenity. This is totally obscene, okay? Moves were made that called into question the quality of my fucking reporting, okay? When I did nothing wrong. And Nux Taku is a total fucking freak. This is the guy you're fucking sweeping for? Seriously? Give me a fucking break, dude. Oh my god. Dude, I can't take it. I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to be relaxed, okay? I'm trying to be fucking cool about this, but I'm fucking losing it right now, dude. Holy fuck, bro. This is shameful. This is fucking shameful, dude. Oh my fucking god.
Became a member. Commodore Chomp celebrates 3.
Yeah, so, Chud got some flack for basically covering the story incorrectly or poorly, but then Harmful Opinions does his video and it's like, oh, you know what? Looks like maybe maybe Nux Taku was even more into this stuff than we thought. Even more associated with Shadman and his ilk.
Months of membership. Chud is fair.
Bro, this is insane. This is totally insane, bro. Okay, just calm down. I need to calm down, dude. Anyway, guys, let's continue watching the video.
At some point, but what I would suggest is that his
That's pretty much all you need to see from now. And just some righteous anger from Chud and this Nux Taku guy. Every time I hear more about him, the less I like him, the creepier he seems. And he already started off in a very bad place because he's a VTuber. And that's not a good look. You can't be a VTuber. Show your face. Or be like Jay Aubrey or whatever. And I mean, he even has his face in his profile picture, I think, but do the voice, the faceless documentary style, or show your face.